Death Mage 232, the heroes who try to claim victory at the cost of the city, and the Demon King who tries to protect it. The Iron Boulder Brigade, one of the D-class adventurer parties based in the city of Morksey, were on the way back to the city after venturing into a dungeon on a commission.
"Oh, it's strange," muttered their leader, Rock.
Although he didn't go as far as to stop walking in order to go deep into thought, he was confused.
What's so strange? There being less monsters around the city than usual can be explained by the fact that it's winter and that Vandalu is in the city, right?
Asked one of his companions. It wasn't rare for weak monsters such as goblin and horned rabbits to come close to the city.
But the cold of winter affected monsters just as it did humans.
Thus, there were relatively fewer monsters around this time of year.
And Vandalu had been training Fang and his apprentices Simon and Natania between the city and the Devil's Nests this year.
That caused cowardly monsters to flee, while monsters like goblins that couldn't judge the strength of their foes were hunted as part of the training.
Rock's companions sighed as they recalled spotting Vandalu and his companions on the way back, along with the very conspicuous Fang.
Come to think of it, Fang's rank increased again, didn't it? He's grown so much bigger that you could tell even at a distance. A huge hellhound. That's a monster that sometimes appeared as the boss of dungeons that we abandoned partway through, right? The appearance of the rats hadn't changed, but their ranks have probably increased as well. I'm honestly shocked.
Fang and the rats had been rank 2 when Rock and his companions had first encountered them. They were rank 5 now. It wasn't that they didn't feel happy at all for their acquaintances making progress, but it seemed that the mental impact of being overtaken by them in such a short period of time was greater than being happy for them.
You guys haven't mentioned Simon or Natania. Why is that?
Rock asked.
Because we're jealous of Simon.
One of his companions replied.
He's not someone to pity anymore. He's a rival now.
Added another.
You guys, I haven't forgotten the fact that it's winter or that Vandalu and his buddies are here.
Said Rock.
I'm saying that I feel like something is strange, even if you consider those things.
You feel like, you say, is it because there are more newbies out hunting goblins because of all the goblin hunting commissions? I heard that E-class parties, D-class guys hunting alone and guys that are in debt are getting quite into it.
Goblins had great reproductive capabilities among monsters, so there were constantly new commissions to hunt them at the Adventurers Guild.
However, these commissions had never been considered to be particularly good up until now.
Goblins were indeed weak, but the only thing that could be gained from them were the ears that served as proof of having killed them, which didn't sell for much. There were no goblin parts that could be sold as usable materials, and they were certainly not prey that one would hunt by choice in the middle of winter. Goblin meat that had previously been considered to be worthless, and although it still wasn't worth much, it could now be sold because of Gabu Gabu, the dish that Vandalu had introduced, and the commissions from people who wanted the ingredients to make it. Up until now, defeating one goblin wouldn't earn enough to pay for even a single night at a cheap lodging house, but if one was willing to go through some effort to disassemble a goblin's corpse and bring its meat back to the city, one could now afford not only accommodation but a simple meal as well. It was a far easier job for cash-strapped rookie adventurers than shoveling snow in the city or on the highway.
Thus, there were more rookie adventurers around the city than other years. Incidentally, the snow shoveling that was no longer done by rookie adventurers had been taken up as day jobs by the inhabitants of the slums.
The atmosphere around the city is a little different from last year because of that. Isn't that the reason why?
Said one of Rock's companions.
That does explain why I feel like I'm seeing more unfamiliar adventures around.
Said Rock.
The city of Morksey was a city of commerce, with large numbers of people entering and leaving the city every day.
Naturally, there were many adventurers among them. It wasn't rare for new faces to visit the city while escorting caravans of merchants, nor for familiar faces to depart the city.
On top of that, there were the circumstances that Rock's companions had just described. It wasn't out of the question for Rock to see more groups of unfamiliar adventurers.
You're right. I suppose it's nothing to really worry about,
said Rock as he hurried back towards the city with his party. Hajime Fitun loudly crushed an insect with the palm of his hand.
Are you sure you want to do that, Commander? If you crush these things, Vandaloo will learn of our location, won't he?
Said one of his heroic spirit subordinates, who had been physically incarnated in a human body.
It is no longer troublesome for our location to become known,
said Hajime Fitun.
He was heading towards the city of Morxie, along with his heroic spirit subordinates.
Hajime Fitun had treated the area around the city of Morxie as Vandaloo's territory. With that being the case, hiding within that territory would have been meaningless.
No difference from when I tested this before, huh? It seems that he doesn't share the undead insect's senses or knows all of their exact locations,
he said.
If he did, he would have probably come attacking us right now, after all.
Hajime Fitun had crushed several of the undead insects sent out by Vandaloo.
The first time, he had used an animal that he controlled with marionette. The second time, with a passing traveler rather than an animal.
And the third time, just a moment ago, he had crushed the insect himself.
But neither Vandaloo nor his subordinates had appeared.
No, I suppose he's just observing. It's possible that he knows our location and is planning something so that we can't get away,
said Hajime Fitun. Indeed, he had been prepared to escape at any moment when he had tested crushing the insects previously. It was possible that Vandaloo was deliberately leaving Hajime Fitun and his subordinates for now so that they wouldn't escape.
Then are we going to call off the plan?
One of the heroic spirits who had descended upon the members of the Flame Blades, looking dissatisfied.
We can't do that, Commander,
said Gordon Bobby with a frown.
How long do we have to stay in these bodies?
For the heroic spirits, it was their first time being in a real body in a long time.
Though there were differences between them, all of their bodies were significantly weaker than the bodies they had possessed while alive, which was why they had been able to enjoy combat in Fitun's trial labyrinth that was only B-class in difficulty. As there were not many individuals who possessed the heroic spirit descent skill, it had been refreshing for them to experience real combat again, even though they had only been fighting against monsters. But they did not want to stay in these bodies long-term. And the battles against monsters had been training for the real, decisive battle, nothing more than an opening act. What they desired was a fight to the death against the modern-era Demon King Vandaloo and his subordinates.
Vandaloo, who had absorbed fragments of the Demon King, defeated pure-breed vampires, cornered the heroes that Alda had raised and devoured Alda's trusted confidant. They would certainly feel dissatisfaction at the postponement of this battle. And this was the same for Hajime Fitun.
Definitely not. We are carrying on with the plan,
he said.
As expected of you, Commander.
One of the heroic spirits laughed.
Don't get too festive. Even if we fall back here, the situation wouldn't improve a single bit. Don't forget that we are the ones who are at a disadvantage,
Hajime Fitun reminded his subordinates. Falling back here would achieve nothing but grant Vandaloo more time, and they were at the disadvantage.
That was the greater reason for pressing on.
Surround the city, wait for the signal and attack.
Hajime Fitun continued.
Don't ever pass through anything that looks like a hole, even if you made it yourself. Don't forget that the enemy has a space attribute mass of flesh and evil god.
Hajime Fitun had not exchanged any information with Alda's forces, and nor had Gordon Bobby or the other heroic spirits.
Thus, they did not possess even the small amount of information that Alda had regarding Vandaloo's battle with Birkin.
However, he did not find it difficult to imagine that Gyufidgarn, the evil god of labyrinths who had created the Trial of Zakert and wandered the continent, was on Vandaloo's side.
And he had not forgotten Legion, who was also capable of teleportation.
Don't worry about the undead insects and surveillance network of spirits. Ignore the humans around the city as well. Once the battle to the death begins, they'll be caught up in it too and crushed anyway.
Said Hajime Fitun.
So, Commander, what is the signal that you mentioned?
One of the heroic spirits asked. They were the ones attacking, but they were the ones who were cornered with no way out.
History was written by the victors, but if they could not become the victors, they would become known as the side of evil.
Even if they were to manage to escape through some miracle, Alda would likely declare them as unworthy of being gods and impale them with the same stakes that he had used on Vita.
You will know soon enough.
Hajime Fitun said with a smile.
You have done well to believe in me and follow me up until today. The two of you are now fully capable of using your artificial limbs.
Said Vandalyu. He was in the same grass-covered plain that was some distance away from the city as always, training Simon and Natania. Now that the training had reached a certain stage, he had something to say to them.
Fang gave a small bark to praise Simon and Natania as well, and the rats began singing a congratulatory song. Through training, their skill levels and ranks had increased, just as Rock and his party thought.
Fang had been the size of a cow, but he was now even larger than a buffalo.
Meanwhile, the rats looked no different from before, but their changes would certainly become apparent if they took a combat-ready posture.
Are you serious, Master?
Said Simon.
You're not joking.
Said Natania, blinking in surprise.
I'm serious.
Said Vandalyu.
The two of you have acquired Spirit Form User as new jobs, and you can use your artificial limbs even better than if they were your original flesh limbs.
But isn't that job inferior, or rather, much inferior to yours, Master?
Said Natania.
Ignoring the differences from Spirit Warrior, it doesn't change the fact that you have acquired a convenient job that is perfect for making full use of your spirit form. You should be proud of that.
Vandalyu told his apprentices.
And you have also become capable. You defeated a group of kobolds on your own 10 days ago, and managed to hunt orcs one at a time on the edge of a devil's nest 5 days ago. And yesterday, you defeated that mysterious huge stone golem, didn't you?
You mean the one that you suddenly brought with you out of nowhere?
Said Simon.
Mysterious, huh?
Natania smirked.
Vandalyu had made the two of them experience not only practice battles, but real battles as well, so that they would become able to fight even better with their artificial limbs than they had before they lost their original limbs.
He had increased the difficulty gradually, starting with small fry such as horned rabbits and goblins, then moving onto a group of about 10 kobolds, then rank 3 orcs. And finally, he had made them fight against a rank 4 huge stone golem. This was not something that Vandalyu had made with his golem creation skill, but something that Gyufidgarn had teleported after it spontaneously appeared in the dungeon disguised as the city of Morxi. It had the exact strength of a rank 4 monster, unaffected by Vandalyu's guidance or his super-strengthened subordinates.
Of course, it was nothing but a small fry to Vandalyu and his companions, but to Simon and Natania, it had been a formidable foe.
Both of them had been D-class adventurers before losing their limbs, barely able to defeat a single rank 3 monster in one-on-one combat.
Although it wasn't an easy battle, the two of them had defeated a rank 4 monster together yesterday without too much difficulty.
In other words, they were already becoming more capable than they had been before losing their limbs.
Considering those results, I think it's more than fine to put an end to your training.
Said Vandalyu.
No, it's just that knowing you, Master, we thought that you would declare that it was our graduation exam or do something along those lines before actually ending our training.
Said Natania, looking confused.
It's a bit anticlimactic to just be suddenly told that we've graduated.
Said Simon. Vandalyu nodded.
I thought so too, but there was a little change in plans. I've decided to postpone your graduation exam.
Said Vandalyu.
It seemed that he'd had similar thoughts as well.
So these are the symbols of your graduation.
Vandalyu said, throwing off the cloth that was covering his cart and revealing artificial limbs that were made of a metal that was clearly different from iron.
What are these?
Simon exclaimed.
This is a collaboration work between me and some certain people.
Said Vandalu. These were artificial limbs made of liquid metals such as death iron and dark copper, created with the skills of Talasheim's blacksmith Datara, the ghoul-armed smith Teria, and Vandalu himself.
The liquid metal had been tempered, combined with materials originating from the Demon King's fragments, and then imbued with magic.
It's my first time seeing something like this. This is amazing. Is it really all right for me to receive something like this?
Asked Natania.
I'm grateful, Master, but even I can tell that these are no ordinary items.
Said Simon.
Are you sure about this?
Yes. They should function far better than the ones you're using now, which I made by repurposing the limbs of full plate armor that I bought from an arms store in this city.
Said Vandalu.
If you were to sell even one of these, you could likely buy dozens of magic item artificial limbs that would function just as well as ordinary limbs.
Through some repeated trial and error, the artificial limbs had become as functional as legendary class magic items. The Aegis, Melissa, had remarked that there would be countless people who would gladly chop off one of their own limbs if they could receive an artificial limb like these in return.
By the way, you can change their color as you like, so it would probably be best to have them appear as ordinary iron most of the time.
Vandalu added hastily.
And it would be a terrible waste if you chose not to take them, so I won't be accepting that as a choice. They're custom-fitted to match your sizes, and they're nothing more than ordinary metal artificial limbs if you don't have the spirit form skill.
If that's how it is, then we'll take it.
Said Simon. The two apprentices hesitated for a moment longer, but having learned that the artificial limbs had been made specially for them, they accepted them in the end. They unfastened the belts that attached their current artificial limbs, removed their spirit forms from within the limbs, and equipped their new artificial limbs.
The moment they did, they immediately felt the difference between them and their old limbs.
Amazing, they should be roughly the same weight, but they feel so light. The joints move so smoothly too. Can they transform as well?
Natania asked excitedly as Maroru, and the other rats danced in a circle around her.
They can.
Vandalu replied.
Simon, you should try this as well. Next time you're in battle, try saying transform out loud while channeling mana through your artificial arm.
Master, I have an earnest request to make. Could you please explain everything to me? The truth is.
Simon frowned, falling silent for a moment as if hesitating about something, and then suddenly bowed his head towards Vandalu.
Is it something about the divine protection that you were so happy about last month has been revealed, and it has my name on it?
Vandalu asked.
Not all of the characters have been revealed, but yes, and I have been deliberately avoiding asking you up until now, but there are too many strange things about you, Master.
Simon continued.
When I asked Jessie about the spirit form, materialization, and long-distance control skills, she told me that she's never heard of anyone being able to use them to manipulate artificial limbs.
Well, she's right about that. I was deliberately avoiding explaining that part.
Said Vandalu.
It was no exaggeration to say that the spirit form and materialization skills were almost exclusively possessed by undead.
There were almost no cases of non-undead monsters possessing them, never mind ordinary humans.
As for long-distance control, it was entirely impossible.
So, Master, I was thinking that maybe.
Said Simon.
Simon, let's continue this later.
Said Vandalu.
Master, I want you to tell me now.
Simon pressed.
Simon, this isn't the time to be saying that.
Said Natania.
Natania, you already know the truth about Master, don't you? Shut up for a moment. Master, I really need to.
Simon's next words were drowned out by a roar coming from the sky.
Oh.
Simon muttered in confusion, looking up.
There was a dragon, over 10 meters long, flying in the clear winter sky above.
WWW, what the hell is that?
Judging from its characteristics, it seems to be a rank 8 Thunder Dragon.
Vandalu observed.
By the way, Simon, what about our conversation?
Now's not the time for that, is it? A dragon has appeared this close to the city, in a place that's neither a dungeon nor a devil's nest. Why didn't you notice sooner?
Simon shouted.
I told you that this isn't the time, didn't I?
Said Natania. Natania and Vandeleu had noticed the dragon before Simon did. It was likely that he had been late to notice, because he had been facing the ground with his head lowered towards Vandeleu.
Seeming to take notice of Simon and the others on the ground, the thunder dragon looked down and opened its mouth, which was lined with sharp teeth.
A bright white breath of lightning came from its throat.
It covered a narrower area than a flame breath, but it traveled faster and was more accurate.
Kimberly,
Said Vandeleu.
Got it.
Said Kimberly, the Schwartz Blitz ghost as he appeared. He possessed the wind attribute nullification skill.
Although the lightning breath collided with him, lightning was classified as belonging to the wind attribute in this world. Thus, Kimberly suffered no damage at all.
black lightning,
Said Vandeleu, casting a dead spirit magic spell.
The thunder dragon howled in pain as it was pierced and scorched by the spell and crashed into the ground.
A thunder dragon, defeated so easily.
Simon muttered, dumbfounded.
Incidentally, those artificial limbs are apparently lightning resistant, so you won't be more susceptible to lightning than those with ordinary flesh limbs.
Kimberly told him.
I see. Thank you for the kind explanation.
Simon stammered. Even though he had noticed that Kimberly was a ghost, it was possible that his mind had gone blank with shock.
I've already been told the truth, but this is amazing.
Natania murmured, also shocked by the glimpse of Vandeleu's power that she had just witnessed. Unlike Simon, she knew of Vandeleu's situation and objectives, but it was her first time seeing him actually wield his power outside of training.
Now then, Simon. Regarding the explanation of the truth, this isn't the time for that, so it can wait until later, am I correct?
Said Vandeleu.
Yes, well.
Simon muttered with a nod, unable to think clearly because his mind was still in a daze.
Thanks, Simon. That is very helpful, as this is indeed not the time.
Said Vandeleu, pointing at the Devil's Nest forest that was closest to the city.
From that forest emerged more thunder dragons, mountain giants as well as heavily armed ogres, trolls, and minotaurs. All of them were letting out frenzied howls and traveling quickly towards their target.
Dragons, giants, ogres, trolls, and minotaurs. There's no way that there are such monsters in that devil's nest, so why?
Simon exclaimed.
A monster rampage from a dungeon? But the only dungeons in that devil's nest are C-class and D-class. There shouldn't be any rank 8 monsters in there.
Said Natania. Simon let out a short scream as he realized that most of the monsters were heading towards the city of Morksey.
There were multiple Devil's Nests and dungeons around the city of Morksey. But all of the dungeons were C-class or below.
Thus, there were only a handful of B-class adventurers in the city, and even they were weaker individuals among B-class adventurers. In other words, with the adventurers currently in the city, there were not enough fighting forces to battle against this horde of monsters.
At this rate, the city is doomed. Master, how many more times can you use that incredible lightning spell you just used?
Simon asked.
Black lightning, I can use it almost limitlessly.
Vandeleu replied.
I see. I guess you can't use such an incredible spell so many. Wait, what?
But I likely have to fight against a different enemy, so I will remain here with Kimberly and the others. Simon and Natania, you should go back. Join my mother and the others to protect the city. Let's call that your graduation exam.
And no way, Master, even if you stay here with just this guy, more ghosts.
Boss, shouldn't you have explained the situation earlier?
Said Kimberly.
He gave a look of pity towards Simon, whose eyes were wide open with an expression of shock frozen upon his face.
It's not that I didn't trust you, but I couldn't really find a good timing to approach the topic. I'll apologize after the exam.
Vandeleu said to Simon.
Leaving that aside, I'll leave the city to you.
No, wait, Master.
Simon stammered.
All right.
Said Natania, cutting Simon short.
I'm sure Darsha-san would be able to handle things on her own even without us, but we'll give it a shot.
Simon fell silent. Fang growled as if to say, "Shut up and come with us." He grabbed Simon's sleeve with his teeth and threw him into the cart.
Master.
Simon gave a fearful scream. The Rat Sisters took off, dragging Simon and the cart towards the city.
Master, you do your best too.
Said Natania, as she leapt onto Fang's back and rode off after Simon and the others.
Make sure you transform when you fight.
Vandelyu said to her as she left.
Now then, I suppose I should crush a few of the larger ones. Since they're on a rampage, intimidating them with bloodthirst and my demon eyes won't be very effective, and carelessly stimulating their monstrous instincts might make them even more hostile to humans. I guess I'll defeat them normally.
He created a cannon barrel with the Demon King's blood, and looked at the giants approaching the city with rumbling footsteps and the dragons flying through the sky.
You should help as well.
Said Vandelyu. Responding to his command, the thunder dragon zombie next to him got onto its feet. Hajime Fitan watched the monsters heading towards the city of Morksey and let out what could only be described as the laughter of a madman.
You fools, this is the signal. The clouds of dust kicked up by the monsters and the dying screams of the people caught in their path will act as the signal. Your undead insects and your surveillance network of spirits are meaningless now.
He declared, these monsters, which included the likes of thunder dragons, were not monsters that inhabited the devil's nests and dungeons around the city of Morksey. They had all spawned inside Fitan's dungeon.
Fitan, the ruler of the Labyrinth of Trials, had made one of his heroic spirit subordinates connect its entrance to this place with space attribute magic in order to cause a monster rampage.
As a result, that subordinate's physical body had been rendered unusable, sending him back to Fitan's divine realm, but it had been a necessary cost to pay. Of course, he didn't expect monsters of rank 8 or so to be of any use against Vandelyu. But he had read that Vandelyu would scatter his fighting forces around in order to protect the city and the adventurers who had been hunting nearby.
It took a lot of effort to exclude undead and insect monsters from the rampage, but he's already gone and turned one of the corpses into a zombie. And the dragon's movements are slow. Has he acquired Tiamat's divine protection? Even so, they should be effective to some extent.
Hajime Fitan muttered to himself.
Well then, commanders. We're supposed to defeat the Demon King once he rises up to protect the city.
Said Gordon Bobby.
What, you have a problem with that?
Asked Hajime Fitan.
Of course I do.
Spat Gordon Bobby, glaring at Hajime Fitan who had enacted such an inhuman plan.
You told us that the Demon King's confidants are considerably powerful as well, didn't you? How could you have them fight against monsters? If that was your plan, I'd have gladly played the role of attacking the city.
That's right. It would have been a pleasure to experience those in the battlefield, that is the city.
Said another heroic spirit. It seemed that the heroic spirit's complaints were not to do with the inhumanity of Hajime Fitan's methods. None of them were truly criticizing him. It was likely that the heroic spirits stationed in other locations thought the same way. This was the expected reaction for Fitan, who had chosen heroes of battlefields and battle-crazed fanatics who wouldn't complain about such tactics as his heroic spirits.
We are going to fight against the Demon King, so give up on the hope of enjoying other things. We're moving out. Be careful not to catch up to the monsters. I have set them on a rampage, but I am not in control of them. And don't let your guard down. There's no telling if Murakami's group will interfere in some way.
Hajime Fitan declared.
And as he and his subordinates emerged from the forest, they were greeted by the sight of the corpses of mountain giants and dragons moving about, and the living monsters being trampled into the ground. They also saw a white boy standing among the undead, releasing black lightning and flames, creating even more corpses.
We found you, we are entering combat. We will slay the Demon King.
Hajime Fitan declared to his followers. Naturally, Vandelyu was aware of their presence. Because of the monster rampage, many of his undead insects had been crushed, and the spirits were in chaos as well. But he had noticed the monster rampage himself, and he had guessed that the unnatural appearance of a horde of monsters at a time like this would certainly have something to do with himself.
Couldn't you have picked a better way to go about things, heroes?
Vandal, you said.
He spread his arms out and his shadow expanded.
Several silhouettes appeared, as if emerging from the shadow to greet Hajime Fitan and his followers. Names: Fang.
Rank 5. Race Huge Hellhound. Levels 21. Passive skills. Dark Vision. Superhuman Strength, Level 4 level up.
Detect Presence, Level 3 level up.
Intuition, Level 2 level up.
Self-Enhancement, Guidance, Level 3 level up. Enhanced Body Part, Fangs, Claws, Level 4 level up.
Mental Resistance, Level 2 level up.
Fire Attribute Resistance, Level 2 new.
Active Skills. Silent Steps, Level 3 level up.
Aura of Darkness, Level 3 level up.
Scream, Level 3 level up. Charge, Level 3 level up.
Coordination, Level 4 level up.
Flame Breath, Level 4 level up.
Surpass Limits, Level 2 new. Dance, Level 1 new.
Unique Skills. Japanese letter, Japanese letter, Japanese letter, Japanese letter, black square, Japanese letter. S Divine Protection, Vanda tilde EU. Name, Maroru. Rank 5. Race, Burning Flame Rat.
Level 35.
Passive skills. Night Vision. Status Effect Resistance, Level 2 level up.
Enhanced Body Part, Front Fangs, Fur, Tail, Level 4 level up.
Enhanced Agility, Level 4 level up.
Rapid Healing, Level 3 level up. Enhanced Attribute Values, Creator, Level 4 level up. Self-Enhancement, Guidance, Level 3 level up. Murder Healing, Level 2 level up.
Heat Nullification. Active Skills. Surpass Limits, Level 4 level up. Whip Technique, Level 3 level up. Armor Technique, Level 3 level up. Charge, Level 4 level up.
Coordination, Level 3 level up.
Mana Control, Level 3 level up.
Projectile Fire, Level 4 level up.
Singing, Level 1 new. Dancing, Level 1 new. Familiar Spirit Demonfall, Level 1 new. Unique Skills. Vandal use Divine Protection.
Fur of Blazing Flames, Level 5 level up.
Name, Urumi. Rank 5. Race, Snow Rat.
Level 34.
Passive skills. Night Vision. Status Effect Resistance, Level 2 level up.
Enhanced Body Part, Front Fangs, Fur, Tail, Level 3 level up.
Enhanced Agility, Level 3 level up.
Rapid Healing, Level 3 level up. Enhanced Attribute Values, Creator, Level 3 level up. Self-Enhancement, Guidance, Level 3 level up. Murder Healing, Level 2 level up. Cold Nullification.
Active Skills. Surpass Limits, Level 4 level up. Whip Technique, Level 3 level up. Armor Technique, Level 3 level up. Charge, Level 4 level up.
Coordination, Level 3 level up.
Mana Control, Level 4 level up.
Projectile Fire, Level 4 level up.
Singing, Level 1 new. Dancing, Level 1 new. Familiar Spirit Demonfall, Level 1 new. Unique Skills. Vandal use Divine Protection.
Fur of Frozen Water, Level 5 level up.
Name, Surua. Rank 5.
Raise Steel Rat. Level 33.
Passive skills. Night Vision.
Status Effect Resistance, Level 3 level up. Enhanced Body Part, Front Fangs, Fur, Tail, Level 5 level up. Enhanced Agility, Level 2 level up. Rapid Healing, Level 5 level up. Enhanced attribute values, creator, level 3, level up. Self-enhancement, guidance, level 3, level up.
Superhuman strength, level 2, level up. Body expansion tail, level 1, new. Active skills. Surpass limits, level 5, level up. Whip technique, level 3, level up. Armor technique, level 5, level up.
Coordination, level 5, level up.
Projectile fire, level 2, level up. Singing, level 1, new. Dancing, level 1, new. Familiar spirit demonfall, level 1, new. Unique skills. Vandal use divine protection. Fur of armor, level 5, level up.